All right, what's going on, guys? So this is going to be a quick video on the mini days, the 4 hour mini days. All right. As I talked about before, I was gonna make a video for this just to kind of talk about how I utilize the mini days. All right. So the mini days, essentially, I use, as I've talked about many times, as a means of direction. So I'm gonna show you some patterns that play out time and time again. All these patterns I'm gonna show you are all on NASDAQ 100. Since you guys, most of you guys love trading NASDAQ 100. All right. So you can see here. All right, I've got a line also. One is going to have the title of each setup. All right, and then I got three bonus ones where where you can combine a bunch of the setups as well at the end. But you can see here also on each screenshot or chart is going to also have what? An orange line right at 8 o'clock. Because at 8 o'clock is when I start looking at the charts to have an idea of what I want to see for the rest of the day. All right, or what I'm anticipating. All right, so you see here Tuesday reversal. All right, you can see here mini Tuesday came into this 15-minute fair value gap down here. All right, or at least this 5 minute chart. So 5 minute fair value gap, as large as it is, most likely it's a 15 minute. But you can see here going into Thursday, by the time I start looking at the charts, we've had a market structure shift. We've had a change uh, uh, of character after we had a what? After Tuesday, mini Tuesday made the low. All right, now when mini Tuesday makes the low, I'm anticipating that mini Thursday is going to make the high of the week. So the high of the week is here. And yes, mini Thursday just barely made the high of the week. All right. But we have not taken what? The low of any previous days. All right. And guess what? We had a pullback here. Price ran up. Friday took the high. Made a higher high. All right. Now, when you have a Tuesday reversal, all right, typically Thursday is going to make the high. All right. Typically Thursday will make the high of the week if you have a Tuesday reversal. If Thursday doesn't make the high, then you can bet Friday is going to make the high. All right. Also, if Thursday does make the high, like it did here, just barely, you can anticipate that uh, Friday, depending on what is above the high, you might get a reversal or you might get a continuation. All right. Just all depends on what is above the high. All right. You see Thursday barely made the high by a wick, pull back, market open, shot up. All right. It uh it took the lower pre-market. There's the lower pre-market right there. Reversal, ran up. A plus setup. For those that know, take a lower pre-market, CSD, run up. So that's textbook setup right there. That is an easy trade. I understand what I'm looking for here because of the Tuesday reversal model. All right, the next is the Wednesday reversal model. All right. As you guys know, Monday is red, Tuesday is orange, Wednesday is yellow, green is Thursday, Friday is blue, and then white is Saturday. That's the last 4 hour candle. All right, you can see here. All right. Wednesday reversal. Here's 8 o'clock. I see that Wednesday. All right, here's that pattern. Here's that fractal that John taught us. Bounce here. That took the low of Monday. Ran back up. Boom. Bam. All right, that's that model. That's model one right there. If you don't know what I'm talking about, make sure you go plug in and watch the videos on the delivery videos. All right. But I can see here that Wednesday was the low. All right. Wednesday is the low. When Wednesday it makes the low, all right. And then we have a what? Price went and closed back up above Tuesday and Monday. We've had a market structure shift. We've had a change of character. All right. Friday is going to be the high. So I'm anticipating a buy. All right. We're in Thursday. Here we go. Price shot up, came down, took out the lower pre-market into a fair value gap, reversed and ran up. And what? Friday was the high. Textbook trade. All right. This reversal down here after it took the lower pre-market into this fair value gap here. All right. You should be aiming high probability trade to take the what? This is going to make the high. Take the high of what? Thursday. Look what it did. Took the high of Thursday, then it had a big reversal, then it ran up some more. All right. But that's a high probability setup right there. Is the high of Thursday. All right. Because you know what? It has to take out the high of Thursday to make what? For Friday to make a new high. And that's exactly what it did. Then it had to pull back. Then it ran up some more. All right. But if Wednesday is the low, you can anticipate that Friday is going to be the high. All right. Thursday sweep. All right. So Thursday sweep, you can see here that all week, all of this mini week here. All right. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, just stair stepping up. No mini day taking a low of the previous mini day. Thursday had a sweep, ran up, pulled back, All right. Shot up. All right. Thursday sweep. So when Thursday sweeps, you can anticipate that, Thursday or Friday will be the high. All right. Thursday or Friday will be the high. All right. They can interchange, but Thursday sweep like that, do for buys. And again, everything I'm showing you guys also goes into account for, sales as well. Some of these trades will be sale trades, but we'll also look at buy trades. We're looking at buy. Most of these are buys. All right. Uh, one mini day to rule them all. So this setup right here, I call it the one mini day to rule them all because you have one mini day that is the high and the low. All right, you can see here. And again, I don't really look at mini Saturday. You can see mini Saturday took off, but we don't really care or look too much into mini Saturday. We mainly look at mini Monday through Friday. And you can see here mini Friday took the low of the week of the mini week, and it also took the high of the mini week. So that's why I call it the one mini day to rule them all, because mini Friday ran up. It ran down, swept the low of the week, and then ran up and took the high. All right. This can happen on Thursday as well. Thursday can be the mini day to rule them all. So Thursday or Friday. Why these days? News. Mini Saturday. If mini Saturday happens to do it, that's because you got FOMC. All right. FOMC. All right. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, FOMC. FOMC typically is right here at the end of mini Friday. All right, but it can cause mini Saturday to extend. All right. And that's exactly what we had here. FOMC. Boom, boom. All right. Stair step. So you can see here, literally every mini day just stair step down. No mini day took the high of a previous mini day. So this is a stair step. All right. Depending on which way we're stair stepping, you see here 8 a.m. You can anticipate a slight pullback and then look for what price to just continue settling down. All right. Low volume day, but a stair step nonetheless. All right. This here is a thank God it's Friday trade. All right. Now here's what I mean by it. So you can see here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You can see here Thursday took the high, ran down and took the low. All right. So we'll talk about this in the next trade. Actually, we'll talk about it now. Let's talk about it before we talk about it. Let's switch those two. Going into the weekend, you can see here that at 8 o'clock, price ran up, hit key level, and then ran down, and Friday made a low. So you can see here Thursday was the high of the day, and Friday, mini Friday, was the low of the day. This is what I call going into the weekend. Thursday going into Friday. You already know after Friday is the weekend. So this is what I call it going into the weekend type of setup, where Thursday makes the high, Friday makes the low, or vice versa. All right. Now, coming back to the thank God it's Friday trade, TGIF. All right, you can see here we had Thursday going to Friday. So this is a going into the weekend trade. All right. But you can also see that in Friday, we had a sharp reversal. All right. And so a thank God it's Friday trades where in Friday, all right, if Thursday made the high and Friday made the low, if you see that price in Friday reverses back and pulls back, let's go look at that, pulls back 50% or more. All right. So you see here, there it is. And you see that Friday had a reversal and we came back to 50% right here, 50% of the actual day's range. And we actually went and made a new high here. That's a thank God it's Friday trade when Friday, you've already got, at least you assume you have the high and the low of the day already panned out. As you see right there, Thursday to Friday, because that's typically what happens. All right. When the price pulls back, anything above 50% of the day's range, that's a thank God it's Friday trade. As you can see here, we actually reversed from the low of Friday and ran up and actually made a new high during mini Saturday. All right. So that's a thank God it's Friday trade. So you can catch two trades here. All right. All right. And the last trade is one we talked about. It's the mini day AMD. All right. The mini day AMD. So you see here, mini Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. All right. Now, if you like to trade other days, all right. For example, you can see here mini Monday traded with inside of what? Mini Saturday's range. All right. So we call that what? Accumulation. So this is the A right here. It's the accumulation phase. All right. You can see price what? Price then took the low of mini Monday. So that's the what? That's the manipulation. That's the A, the M. And then you can see we ran up and took out the high. So we took out the low. That's the manipulation. Then we ran up and took out the high. That is the distribution. And you see price continue to go higher as well. All right. So you got your accumulation, Price took out the low. That's your manipulation. Now you're looking for your entry down here, and you're looking at TP, at least there, which is that previous, what, high of the manipulation. Next TP would be, of course, the high of mini Saturday. All right, so forth and so on. But the high probability TP is going to be the high of the candle that, I mean, of the 4-hour candle that did the actual accumulation. Because this 4-hour candle here traded inside of this 4-hour candle. Then you got your manipulation, so it took out the low of this 4-hour candle, and then you get your distribution to run up and take out the high. All right, so that's a pattern you can trade. All right, you'll see this a lot with mini Mondays and mini Tuesday. Every now and then mini Wednesday, but for the most part, it happens often in mini Monday and mini Tuesday. So Asia session here, Asia session. You'll see a lot of this this happening here. Okay, so for those who like to trade during Asia session, that's a model you can find and see during that time frame. All right, so again, all those models we just went through are patterns that I have recognized and talked about. They help me to understand what I'm going to be looking for after the orange line, after 8 o'clock. What am I looking for? What direction am I looking to trade in? All right. And then from there, when I have a good understanding of what direction I'm looking to trade in, then I'm starting to look for key levels to get my entry off of. Here, 2-day reversal. I'm looking for a buy after this time frame. We swept the lower pre-market. CSD. I'm looking for a buy. Easy money. All right. Easy. Wednesday reversal, same thing. You know, we already got it. All right, cool. Wednesday reversal left a huge fair value gap as it was moving up. Guess what? We swept the lower pre-market into that huge fair value gap to what? To continue to buy up. Because guess what? Wednesday means Friday high. That's exactly what we made. Friday high there, pull back, continue to make an even higher high. All right, but that pullback swept the lower pre-market there into this huge fair value gap that what? That mini Wednesday left over. And, you know, beautiful. And so forth and so on. So it gives me an idea of what direction to trade in. That's the main thing, so that I can then go and just focus on looking for key levels. That is what I use the mini days for. All right. So again, these patterns play out over and over, high probability. All right. But they're not guaranteed. There are going to be some times where it doesn't play out that way. So definitely go back test, look at things yourself, as well as understand all the other concepts that me and John have taught you guys. All right. So these last 3 here are going to be bonuses. All right. These last 3 bonuses are going to be combination trades. All right. So I'll show you here. This is a mini day AMD plus Thursday sweep. All right. So you can see here, mini Tuesday traded inside of mini Monday's range. You can see here, mini Monday is still the high. We need to make a new high on mini Tuesday. So it traded inside of mini Monday's range. You can see mini Wednesday took the high, ran down to mini Thursday to take the low. All right, so here's our accumulation. Here's our accumulation here. Accumulation window. All right, here's our, all right, took the high there. There's our manipulation window. And then it ran down in Thursday to take the low. All right, that's our distribution right there. That's our distribution right there. All right, 8 o'clock, you can see here. All right, we swept the low. Look at that fair value gap right there. That's some terrible drawing. But you can see that fair value gap right there. Into that fair value gap there. And then guess what? Price ran up. All right. So you got Thursday sweep. All right. Thursday swept. Tuesday and Wednesday into Monday. Here's Monday's open price right here. All right, which is also the daily open. And then you got your distribution. All right. Easy money. Easy money. All right. Gives you an idea of what you're looking for. All right. Mini AMD plus Wednesday reversal plus thank God it's Friday. All right, look at it. Look at that. Mini Tuesday traded inside of mini Monday's range. All right. So that's our accumulation window. All right, it's our accumulation window. We got our manipulation. Not only did it take out the low of mini Tuesday, also got the low of mini Monday. All right. Depending on your entry model, you got your entry. Price ran up. First stop is that high right there. And you got that. All right. Because now we're in the what? I'm sorry. This is our manipulation here. And then this is our distribution right here. And you see it distributed up. All right. We took the high low of mini Tuesday and mini Monday. So my TP1 for sure, high probability, high of mini Tuesday. But because we also took the low of mini Monday, I'm also targeting here. Mini Monday's high. All right. And you see both were tapped. All right. So that's mini AMD. All right. We also had a what? Wednesday reversal. If we have a Wednesday reversal, what am I looking for? Friday high. Look what happened. Friday made a high. All right. But then you also look like Friday found a key level up here, and Friday immediately reversed, coming back as we talked about. All right. As we talked about, coming back more than 50% of the range, of the day's range. There's the full day's range right there. And you see we came back more than 50% of the range. So we had a AMD setup, mini day AMD setup of mini Tuesday. We had a Wednesday reversal, because look at that, Wednesday reversal there. So I know going into market open when I trade, I'm looking for what? I'm looking for a buy. And then we had a what? Boom. Thank God it's Friday trade reversal. Back at least 50% of the range, of the day's range. All right. So you see 3 different trades in this setup. Trade number 1. All right. If you're trading in pre-market, there's trade number 2. After the market open, 9 o'clock, boom. All right. It's all there. 3 different trade setups. And the last one, all right, mini AMD plus Tuesday reversal plus going into the weekend. All right. Let's go look at it. You got your mini AMD here. You can see it. Mini Monday. So your accumulation here is here. Mini Monday traded inside of what? All right. Mini Saturday's range. We took the low of it in mini Tuesday, ran up and took the high. So there's our manipulation. There's our distribution. Tuesday's the high here. All right. Made a reversal. So Tuesday reversal means what? Thursday low. Thursday's low came to a key level. And then boom, going into the weekend. Thursday, Friday, Thursday low, Friday high. All right. 2 great trade setups. This trade setup, nice clean one in Asia, and then come back and you catch the same buy, just in a bigger way, in New York session. All right. That's it, guys. That's how I look at the markets. Again, it's all about trying to identify, all right, trying to identify the direction for the day. I like to trade after 8 o'clock. After 8 o'clock is when I'm looking at the charts, and I'm looking for what? Trade setups. All right. And so I can identify trade setups. All right. Or at least the direction. And then after I have a good understanding of the direction based on the mini days, then I do what? Then at that point, it's all about trying to find my entry point. That's it. All right. So the mini days is how I use them. Hopefully this helps you guys understand it a little better. If you find patterns, hey, point them out. Point them out. We'll back test them together. We'll take a look at them, and then we will, I'll update the video and add them in there. All right. So hope you guys learned a lot from this video. I'll see you guys in the next one.